It's nearly the weekend. Well, depending on how you see it, it could be the weekend for you already. But hey, welcome to another episode of Bonus Stage Plus. My name is Billy, and I got my player 2 right here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Renzo of The Home Run, joining Billy once again this week, and all of you watching either through Facebook or YouTube or whatever channel you may prefer, talking about the latest in gaming news, trailers, and everything under the video gaming sun. How you been, Billy?
I've been all right, and of course, the big burning question right now is, what have you been playing lately?
Oh, man. Well, lots of Path of Exile. Lots and lots of Path of Exile. For those of you who may not know, a lot of people have returned to the game after the huge Heist League update. But if you ask literally anyone else, including my friends or Billy's friends, they'll probably have the same answer as to what they're playing. And what are they playing, Billy?
Everyone and their mother is playing Genshin Impact right now, which we will be talking about in just a bit. But before anything else, where can we find ourselves on the internet? Let's start with you, Renzo.
Well, you can follow me over on all social media, but preferably Twitter at RenzoSaurus, also on Twitch. And if you want to follow the station, it is at 995PlayFM, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube with a slightly different channel name, and also on Twitch as well. That's where we're at.
Oh yeah, and for yours truly, that is it_Burns. If you're wondering why the heck does he have that name, it's a comical expression of pain. There's a deeper story to that, or I wouldn't say deeper, but there's a more hilarious story behind that, but we'll get to that another time. Let's give you news. And to start off news for today, well, we're going to be talking about one of the hottest games around that is not Genshin Impact, but is still pretty big. I know that you, your friends, your family, maybe significant others, or just, other people have been playing, and, it's been testing friendships, relationships, and just how good of a liar you are. You know what we're talking about at this point. It's Among Us, and before that, I'd also like to add that there are two types of people in the world. Those that start Among Us sessions, like they'll just message you out of nowhere, like "Tara, Among Us tayo," and then, of course, those are those that also just get dragged into them or invited. I'm in the latter. Renzo's in the former. Can you tell us more about what's been happening with Among Us?
All right, so a couple of weeks ago, we did talk about how the developers behind Among Us canceled plans for Among Us 2. That is, of course, Inner Sloth Studios, literally just a 3-person team. And as of late, they have been having some trouble with the public servers. Now, for those of you who may not know, you can play in a private lobby with your friends, and you can also play single player on the online ladder in your different regions. And this opens it up to many, many problems. But the one problem that people didn't really expect were cheaters. Well, of course, I mean, Billy, you are of the belief that any video game that gets popular online or otherwise will eventually get its number or fair share of cheaters. You've seen that in Apex Legends and all these first-person shooters, but at least
also in Fall Guys.
Games, also in Fall Guys. Yeah. But at least with those games, there is an incentive to win because you get rewarded with cosmetics and currency. But with Among Us, you don't even get any of that for winning a game, either as imposter or crewmate. So there really is no incentive to cheat. So I don't get it.
As Michael Caine, as Alfred said in The Dark Knight, some people just want to see the world burn.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And this is one of the best examples of that, because what are you really getting from this? And speaking of cheaters, how have they been affecting the game?
Okay, so apparently, according to a lot of the people who have experienced cheaters, they have experienced everything from their nicknames being edited in the middle of the game, from to their entire crews getting ejected from the start of the match, and even had games where there was an extra imposter where there really shouldn't have been one. So cheaters have been messing with these public games. And of course, the folks at Inner Sloth Studio, Forrest Willard, one of the Among Us programmers, did mention, we're rushing to get an account system in place so we can have better moderation and reporting systems built around that. Also getting help with making the servers better at detecting and blocking hacks and investigating client-side hack prevention as well. I'm sort of scrambling to get all the right people in place, but I'm attacking it from multiple angles so it can get better in many ways, hopefully all at once, end quote. And for a 3-person studio handling this many players, I mean, there are millions out there. It can be pretty taxing, and we're pretty sure that the developers are working as hard as they can.
Thank you!
But it is also interesting to mention that this is probably one of the reasons why they canceled Among Us 2 to focus better on Among Us 1, because the game on its own is already amazing. So I can only imagine how much better it can get, or how much more content we can get from the developers if they, or when they, or as they are now deciding to work on Among Us 1 instead of continuing with Among Us 2.
And you gotta give it up to them for that level of transparency. That's a very detailed response on how they plan to, of course, curb cheaters. Coming, of course, from a 3-person team. These guys are hard workers, so, of course, when you can buy the game, let's say off of Steam, please do support these guys, because they're gonna need it, especially after they gave us basically another online sensation that everyone's taking part in. Speaking of which, when are we actually gonna play that station-wide game of Among Us?
I don't know, but we had a preview with a bunch of the other DJs, and there's going to be a lot of bleeping and censoring in that one, that's for sure. But the best way to avoid cheaters, as recommended by the developers themselves, is to get some friends together and join a private lobby. So you're sure there's no sketchy outside person just including hacks into your game. But while we're waiting for that one, please do enjoy the private games, and just look around your communities. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there recruiting for Among Us games.
So, of course, for those looking forward to the eventual Play FM Among Us session, I have to apologize in advance to our audio team. I'm really sorry about this. And up next, we have news on the PS5, but this one's a little smaller in scale. Okay, no huge mind-blowing details, but this one's still going to be really important because it has something to do with how we interact with the system itself. Now, Renzo, you've been playing with the PlayStation family of consoles since the PS1, and what type of confirm and cancel buttons did you get used to?
I was an X as confirm and circle as cancel kid. I mean, I don't know if that was the norm for everybody else, but that's what I grew up with.
Of course, in the case of some games, it was X to confirm, triangle to cancel. And, of course, slowly as time passed, X and circle, okay, X to confirm, circle to cancel, became the standard outside of Japan. In Asia, it was mostly circle to confirm and X to cancel. However, with the release of the PlayStation 5, it's going to be uniform across all regions. So if you're getting your PS5, let's say here in Southeast Asia or Japan, you're going to have to get used to a new way of interacting or confirming and canceling in the user interface of your PS5, because of course everyone across the board will be getting X as confirm, circle as cancel, and I can imagine how this is going to mess with people's muscle memory, or, you know, basically at this point, you know, it's been 20 plus years since people in this region have had that particular setup, so getting used to that is going to take a while. But at the same time, of course, there are lots of people on PC, and your confirm button there is A, which is where the X button is, and B, which is where the circle button is. So it probably won't take much, especially if it's just someone who's also been playing on PC, but I can imagine like someone who's been exclusively been playing on PlayStation consoles to just suddenly be all befuddled. Now, I'm not quite sure if you can adjust this. No one has confirmed yet whether you can adjust this in, of course, system settings and return it to its old interface, but there was a precedent for this. I think in 2018, I believe, yes, there was this PlayStation 4 update that allowed you, if your PlayStation 4 actually happened to be from, of course, either Asia or Japan, to switch it to X4 confirm.
Yeah, so, I remember that having that setting before. That's why I was actually going to ask if it was possible to change it, or, you know, if you are on PC, just change your button map settings. I guess you can do that.
Pretty much. And I hope they bring in, or I hope they carry over the ability to just completely remap an entire controller. So that should also solve a lot of problems. But we're going to keep tabs on this because, come on, as tiny as this change seems, it's going to mean a lot for a lot of people. So we will, of course, keep tabs on this and update you as we go. Now, Renzo, we've been, of course, talking about what we've been playing lately. Well, you mostly, and I forgot to give an answer, but, you know, to just get back to that slightly, Animal Crossing, because, of course, it's Halloween, and Mafia Definitive Edition, which is a lot better than I expected it to be. But, of course, the real star of the moment is Genshin Impact, which just released pretty recently, but has racked up quite the impressive number of downloads and raked in also an equally impressive amount of money. So how many times has this been downloaded on mobile alone so far?
17 million, folks. 17 million downloads, and that's just on one
platform.
One platform. Already 17 million downloads, and yes, you probably heard from it from your friends or your other friend or your friend who you wanted to play Among Us with but said, no, I'm playing Genshin Impact, or maybe one of your many Discord friends who are streaming for their other friends who are just hanging out. Everyone's playing Genshin Impact. I don't get it. Some people say it's Breath of the Wild meets a gacha game meets a waifu simulator. I don't know what's going on. What's happening, Billy?
I mean, we just call it Breath of the Waifu, that's it. But yeah, Genshin Impact is quite the case to look out for this year. It's easily one of the biggest and most popular games released in this quarter of the year. We're not quite sure yet on its long-lasting appeal, but it'll help, or it helps that, of course, it's out on multiple platforms. We're talking PS4, PC, Windows, iOS, and of course coming to Switch at a later date. And you have co-op, a thing that a lot of people are looking for, especially in, with the circumstances that we're living in. And it has cross progression.
Oh, wow. So you can switch platforms and still keep
whatever
character.
progression you have on one platform carries over into the next one. I'm guessing they're doing this via cloud saves and an account system. And, given that it's really popular right now, I'm assuming that MiHoYo, of course, the developers/publishers of this game, will continue to support it down the line, especially with the impressive start that they've had. And let's just hope that they can either sustain or at least grow that player base. Now, of course, if you've been playing Genshin Impact yourselves, do let us know. Sound off in the comments what you think about the game, because I myself haven't gotten it yet. I've been busy with other things, even, of course, running this particular show, so I can't say that I've gotten that much free time, and I'm actually afraid when I think about it, because it looks like a huge time sink, especially given that they've been very open about being inspired by Breath of the Wild, another game that is also a time sink. So things are looking good from here on out for Genshin Impact, and let's see what directions they'll take this game in. And speaking of which, I think we got some trailers to watch.